Hello, welcome to my garage. It's where the magic happens. I'm Nathan Budge, and this video is unscripted, unplanned, and unorganized, and unlit, apparently. And I'm making it because I felt like it. I'm just going to talk about this, which is Rush 2112, which is an album that I love. And why not talk about it? And why not make a long rambling video with no editing and no lighting? This is an album that I love because of some of the history behind it. And if you've seen the documentary behind it, you'll know that Rush was not in a good place at that time. They were currently on the Down the Tubes tour, as they called it, as they were writing it. And the guys at their record company didn't like what they were doing. They didn't like the direction they were headed in, and a lot of the fans obviously didn't either because the tour was so unsuccessful. Their songs were long and winding and story driven and quite strange. By Tour and the Snow Dog and such, but they're amazing songs regardless of how weird they are. And so that's Caress of Steel that they were promoting on that tour, and they were really in a place of discouragement because of those things. And the record company was telling them to write short hits and songs that people would not be weirded out or confused at the meaning of. And they assured the company that they would do that. And then when they gave the album 2112 to the company, it started with a 21-minute song with 7 movements and an overture. And people were very concerned. And I love that they did this because they decided that they were going to go in and out of success on their own terms. And they thought it was the end. And they thought that this was the last album they would ever release. And because of that energy and that anger and that fire that they had, they released what is, in my opinion, one of the greatest albums ever recorded. And certainly 2112 is one of the best songs and the most meaningful to me, just because of the history behind it and what it's about and what they stand for, and that's artistic freedom and freedom of expression. And it didn't matter that they were putting their careers on the line. They were going to create a work of art that they felt pleased with and they felt proud of, rather than just giving the record companies what they wanted. And a lot of bands didn't do that. A lot of bands did give in to the pressure, and they did write poppy hits and become corporate rock. And, fair enough. They've got to make a living and they want to provide for their families and be successful. But I'm really proud of Rush for what they did, and that's one of the things that has shaped me as a musician and as a person. Just knowing that you can do it. You can be who you are and make what you want to make and be successful. And you can write a 21-minute song and put it on a pop record, and you can make it. And they've released, I think, 20 albums now. Whether that includes their cover album or not, I'm not sure. But I've listened to all their music. I've bought all the albums at one point or another and listened through them. And it's amazing to me that this, the 4th album, they thought was the end. And they eventually became one of the most successful bands ever by releasing, they were the 3rd place most gold records in a row of any band ever. And that, to me, is quite remarkable. And I love Rush and I love 2112, and they've inspired me, and I figured I'd just make a video for the heck of it and talk about that. I don't know if you get a lot of that from the documentary, and I don't know if there's much point to what I'm saying, but I felt like doing it, so I did it. And if somebody watches it, cool. If you get something out of it, cool. And if you listen to this and you hadn't heard of it or you didn't know what it was and you check it out, then that's cool. If one person does that, I feel pretty happy. So, sayonara, YouTube. Good night.